I'm sad to admit it, but admit it I must. The Trump administration takes its first L as a reporter accidentally gets added to a group chat used by JD Vance, Pete Hegseth, and others discussing their upcoming attack on the Houthis. Now, this is in no way the big disastrous debacle the left wants to claim it is. But I want to be objective, I want to give my honest opinion, and I don't want to be known as somebody who only can praise what Donald Trump and the Republicans do. When they make a mistake, I'll call it out. And I certainly don't think that what happened is a good look. Again, I don't think anybody's perfect, and I don't expect them to be. But we certainly can't have these senseless, reckless, avoidable mistakes. Donald Trump has done 99 things right since he's become president. So this isn't me having a change of heart by any means, just simply calling a spade a spade. As always, like the video and subscribe to the channel, but let's get right into Pete Hegseth addressing this debacle.
Looking forward to it. One question.
Can you share how your information about war plans against the Houthis in Yemen was shared with a journalist in The Atlantic? And were those details classified?
You're talking about a deceitful and highly discredited so-called journalist who's made a profession of peddling hoaxes time and time again, to include the hoaxes of Russia, or the fine people on both sides hoax, or suckers and losers hoax. So this is the guy that peddles in garbage. This is what he does.
And this brings me to part one of what I don't like about how this situation is unfolding. The White House confirmed it's real. Today, Tulsi Gabbard, Kash Patel, and others are having a Senate hearing because it's real. And I don't appreciate Pete Hegseth not taking accountability and instead trying to claim it was a hoax. That was one of the key issues people had with the Democrats, is they were adamant they didn't do anything wrong. They would not take responsibility. And we don't want to become the party that falls into those same habits. Mistakes are inevitable, but what builds trust with the American people is the ability to accept it, recognize that you made a mistake, hold yourself accountable for it, and then we can all move forward. Here's the reporter who was added to the group chat and broke this story, responding to Pete Hegseth's comments on CNN.
They were saying that nobody was texting war plans. Given you were privy to this group chat, is that how you saw it?
No, that's a lie. He was texting war plans. He was texting attack plans. When targets were going to be targeted, how they were going to be targeted, who was at the targets, when the next sequence of attacks were happening. I didn't publish this, and I continue not to publish it because it felt like it was too confidential, too technical, and I worry, honestly, that sharing that kind of information in public could endanger American military personnel. But no, they were plans for the attack. And they were texted before the attack.
And there were things texted that you viewed as so sensitive, you did not even publish them in your report today.
I made the decision that the technical aspects of this, including what kinds of weapons packages, the attack sequencing, and so on, that's not necessarily in the public interest. What's in the public interest is that they were running a war plan on a messaging app and didn't even know who was invited into the conversation.
So the problem that I'm seeing from the right is they're trying to play the semantics game. Was what they were discussing considered war plans or weren't they? Was there classified information or not? This reporter is known to be extremely anti-Trump. So was this a plant or not? Those things don't really matter. The only thing that matters is a reporter was added to a group chat where high-ranking government officials were talking about military strikes. Again, the only reason I'm so frustrated by all this in particular is because it's just sloppy. This is the kind of ammunition we don't want the Democrats to have at all. Sure, we can say, well, they're way more sloppy. They have no room to talk. But why give them the ammunition at all? Donald Trump Jr. posted, "Why doesn't Jeffrey Goldberg," that's the reporter, "disclose to his readers in his stories that he is a registered Democrat? His wife also worked for Hillary Clinton and has donated nearly $25,000 to Democrats." Sure, we know this guy is partisan, but that just proves my point even more. Why would anybody allow for this person, or at least be mindful enough to not add anybody to this kind of group chat? You can't be mad that the person you added to a group chat was a Democrat party hack. Let me show you guys the messages that were exposed so you can take a look at them for yourself. JD Vance says to Pete Hegseth, "If you think we should do it, let's go. I just hate bailing Europe out again." True. Let's just make sure our messaging is tight here. And if there are things we can do up front to minimize risk to Saudi oil facilities, we should do it. Pete Hegseth responds, "I fully share your loathing of European freeloading. It's pathetic." True. But Mike is correct. We are the only ones on the planet on our side of the ledger who can do this. Nobody else even close. Question is timing. I feel like now is as good a time as any, given POTUS directive to reopen shipping lanes. I think we should go, but POTUS still retains 24 hours of decision space. Stephen Miller chimes in, "As I heard it, the president was clear, green light, but we soon make clear to Egypt and Europe what we expect in return. We also need to figure out how to enforce such a requirement. E.g., if Europe doesn't remunerate, then what? If the U.S. successfully restores freedom of navigation at great cost, there needs to be some further economic gain extracted in return." So a spin I've been seeing on the right is we should be proud at the dialogue and the discourse happening at the top levels of government. Sure, fine, but that doesn't exonerate the fact that a reporter somehow got added to this group chat. And we shouldn't be giving Democrats the ammunition to exaggerate the scale and the risk that this causes to American people. Because even if it is minimal, we just read the messages, they weren't severe. There were no problems as a result of this. National security and safety are things that bypass people's logic and trigger emotional responses. And now we've got people like Jasmine Crockett coming out and saying this.
And then y'all want to come at us and act like people of color are the problem or that women are the problem? Like, baby, you probably need a good black woman in the room who can check you and tell you that, first of all, you shouldn't be doing this shit on Signal or anything else.
Again, let me just reiterate, I'm not here bashing the Trump administration. I'm not changing sides, nowhere even close to that. That's ridiculous. But just because we play on the same team doesn't mean that we're immune from holding these people accountable when they make mistakes, especially a mistake like this. It's a small mistake, but that's even more of a reason why it shouldn't have been made. What we don't want is our administration being excoriated by Democrats who now think that they have some sort of position of authority. Watch our girl Tulsi Gabbard getting grilled by a senator today at this hearing.
Contact the defense secretary or others after this specific military planning was put out and say, hey, we should be doing this in a skiff?
There was no classified material that was shared in that.
So then if there was no
check.
classified material, share it with the committee. You can't have it both ways. These are important jobs. This is our national security. Bobbing and weaving and trying to, filibuster your answer. So please answer the question.
We know the Democrats are desperate right now for any talking point, and nothing has stuck because nothing is truthful or has legs. Now that they have something related to national defense that has some legs, they're going to exaggerate and sensationalize this thing, but it doesn't even matter whether it's truthful or not because we gave them the truthful foundation for them to spread their lies on. And the Republican strategy of finger pointing at the Democrats and saying, well, you guys did worse, doesn't make us look good. It makes us look childish. It makes us look like we can't own up to the fact that we were wrong. People say, well, Hillary sent all these emails from her personal email and deleted them. Yes, that's true. They'll say Signal is permitted to be used for discussions and it was already implemented from the previous administration. Okay, true. They'll say the Democrats pulled out of Afghanistan and got American soldiers killed. Also true. Our message to the American people was the adults are back in charge. We will govern in a serious and professional way, a better way. No one ever said a perfect way. People take a personal issue with others who can never admit that they've done something wrong. And I don't want us to get into the habit of making this part of our brand identity. Listen to this senator ask Tulsi Gabbard whether she was messaging from her personal phone or her private government phone that is more secure.
Yes, Senator, I was.
Were you using your private phone or a public phone for the Signal discussions?
I I won't speak to this because it's under review by the National Security Council. Once that review is complete, I'm sure we'll share the results with the committee.
What is under review? It's a very simple question. Are you a private phone or an officially issued phone? What could be under review?
National Security Council is reviewing all aspects of how this came to be, how the journalist was inadvertently added to the group chat, and what occurred within that chat across the board.
But so you're not going to disclose anything about whether you use the phone?
See, I don't want us to be in positions to where we have to answer questions like this. Lay all the cards on the table. Let all of the outrage happen at once. Otherwise, you're just kicking this can down the road and you're extending the news life of this story. Some new details are going to come out about it in 5 days. Some more might come out in 2 weeks. And this mistake just gets elongated in the news cycle and sticks in the minds of the public. Make everything known today. It's a news story for a couple of days, and then it's gone. Here's our boy Scott Jennings at CNN spinning this in a beautiful way. I just don't think it's the path we should be taking.
All right, moments ago, Caitlin Collins was reporting on her show, Scott, that there is shock inside the White House that this chat was texted to Jeffrey Goldberg. Are you shocked?
Well, sure. I mean, it's a shocking thing, and they've admitted that it was a mistake and admitted that it's authentic. So they're owning up to it. I think they're still, based on what I've heard tonight, trying to figure out how it happened. I'm not sure the National Security Advisor, Walls, even knows Goldberg. In fact, I don't believe he knows him and has never met him. I did learn a few things in some of my conversations, if you're interested. One is that the Signal program was preloaded on a number of devices and agency computers in this circuit when they got there. So in their view, it was already in use. Number two, in some of the messages, they talk about needing to go to the high side computers, which is the classified system. So they clearly were knowing there was a line on what you could discuss in a chat like this versus classified system. Number three, there is a dispute over whether the term war plans is being exaggerated. And number four, look, I love the policy. It's well executed. You've got a thoughtful policy discussion going on. And we did what the Biden administration would not do, stop these people from harassing our shipping lanes and our boats and our Navy. So good on the Trump administration for reversing a bad.
Now, there's a lot of sketchy details about this incident. Why would such an anti-Trump reporter be added to this kind of group chat? I don't know. How would he be added? Who added him? I don't know. Were there any repercussions to this reporter being added? No. Have the Democrats done worse? Yes. But nobody in their personal lives or in the way that they view politicians respects somebody who thinks that they are absolved of any criticism or any reprimand because of a million external factors or excuses. And I'm just saying, let's be the party that faces challenges and mistakes head on with our head held high and with dignity. I think, all things considered, this is a pretty insignificant situation that we can just embrace as a mistake and move forward from. Nobody was harmed and the military strike went as planned. They'd have a much worse situation on their hands if things actually did go awry because of this person getting added. So I just think we're picking the wrong issue to poo-poo at and want to bring up the other side's track record instead of admitting our own mistakes. Now, the final thing I want to show you, and this is like half comedy, but half seriously, why we can't let these little tiny sloppy mistakes happen, is now we have Hakeem Jeffries, Walmart Obama, coming out calling Trump's picks DEI hires.
Who are some of these people that Donald Trump has put into the most sensitive national security positions in America? We were promised that Donald Trump was going to hire the very best. It's all phony. The attacks on diversity, equity, and inclusion, phony. So it's never about hiring the best people. As Democrats, we actually believe in merit. Merit that should be based on what you know, not who you know. And understand, this whole Trump administration is filled with lackeys and incompetent cronies.
Now, again, his claims are completely ridiculous. But again, the point is we gave these extremely desperate people something concrete to now go exaggerate and fearmonger about. We're human. We make mistakes. We're not going to show that we're better than the Biden administration by not making any mistakes at all. We will show that we're better than them by having more respect and dignity and consideration for the American people, to not engage in the same okey doke and instead let the people know that we messed up. We apologize. It won't happen again. It was a moment of carelessness. Again, I'm super thrilled with everything Trump and his administration have done so far. I just wanted to make this video so my supporters could understand that they're watching somebody who is objective, who is going to call it like they see it. And I'm someone you can trust, not just a partisan hack, but for our side. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Turn on those notification bells so you never miss a video. And I will see you guys in the next one.